So it is
Hello?
7:03. Good evening, Lori.
Uh-oh.
We have our quorum, so we can go ahead and start the meeting. How's everybody after the heat wave last week?
Cooler.
It is that. Okay, item number 1 on the
I
agenda.
can't hear you.
What's that, Lori? Okay. The early cyanotoxin results, the
I
algal
can hear you
samples.
and I can't think why not. So I'm gonna go out and come back in again.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
we can hear you.
Can you think? Okay. I'm gonna try and join you by phone.
Lori, can you hear us now?
I hope you're having a meeting. You have a quorum without me, right?
We do not have a quorum without you.
Isn't just me and Sally? You have 3 out of 5, no?
We need 4 out of 5.
Need 5, 4?
We need 4 for a
Do you want me to
quorum.
join by phone?
Sure.
We can hear you.
Okay,
Can you hear
But-
us right now? Oh, wait, am I muted?
let me see how to.
No,
do
I'm
Mike,
not-
you're not muted.
So Lori, I can hear you fine right now. And there's no echo.
Okay, Lori, we have you by phone. Can you hear us?
I can hear you,
There we go. Okay. All right.
and I put myself there so I can see you too. Okay, very good.
Wonderful.
I got a monitor hooked up, and apparently some part of it's missing. So
Well, we'll have
I
to,
can
if you can see us and hear us, then we should be golden.
okay.
All right, so the first item on the agenda is the June cyanotoxin, the cyanobacteria results that we've been getting from Northeast Labs. Have you guys seen all of those? I've been doing the spreadsheet that Bill made great improvements to by changing a few things around. And so far, the numbers have looked really good as far as the cyanobacteria. I went over and took the sample this morning, and the water was 82 some odd degrees. So it should be give us some interesting results. But has everybody had a chance to see those cyanobacteria results? Good. Any No, I've got to give Northeast Labs a lot of props because they've been very consistent as far as getting the results back to us in a pretty timely manner. It's usually less than 7 days or just about 7 days before I get the results. I usually get those on Thursdays or Fridays. And what I want your opinions on is, should I experiment with a same day result, go over in the morning, get the water sample and take it down to the lab, trying to get same day results just to test that part of the system. I'd like your feedback on that.
You just want to test it once or twice to see how well it works.
Just to try it and see if it's going to work. I mean, we built it into the protocol based on what Northeast says that they can deliver. And so far, the protocol is working great. I get the samples on Monday. I send them via UPS on Tuesday. They get to the lab on Wednesday, and usually by the next Thursday, I get the results back. And usually within a couple of days of dropping off the sample, Northeast has been sending the shipper back to me. And they've provided extra bottles. So far, that part of it has worked really well. And before we run into a scenario where someone's saying, there's green scum on the beach and we have to test it real time, live, I'd like to do a preemptive kind of a real time test of their 1-day turnaround. I kind of want to get everybody else's opinion on that. Anybody?
Mike,
You're
are
muted,
you
Mike.
muted?
I think I'd be okay with that. I think it's not a bad idea. Good idea.
I think a good idea.
All right, I might do that next week, depending upon, uh, yeah, s- depending upon schedule, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But so far, I've been very happy with Northeast Labs. The test kits, Matt Rollins over at Board of Health, he's been trying to get the 5 strip test kits out of gold standard, but he's been running into some problems without an account, without an established account. The first order that we place has to be done with a credit card. And this is where I'm going to need some guidance from you folks that have more experience dealing with this. I am not opposed to putting our order of the 20 sample test kits on my credit card and then filing for reimbursement through the town because we have the funds, through the Warren article. The order right now, just for the season supply of test kits, comes into a little over $2,000, and again, this is where I'm asking from a little experience. Would the town balk at reimbursing me for those, for that amount of money?
Well, I can tell you they haven't balked at my request for that amount, so I'm assuming not.
Okay. All right.
I've probably spent $10,000 or more on buying envelopes on a reimbursement basis at $2,000 a pop, so.
If you could, the one thing I throw in is town may not pay the taxes. So if you can somehow use the town's tax exempt number. Bill, have you had any experience using your credit card and getting a tax exempt status?
No, because the envelopes are not taxable.
Oh, okay.
So I have used, well, the only, one of the issues is that every department has a town credit card. However, I think its limit is $1,000 for each department.
But the tax might be a problem. I mean, if it's 6% tax on 2,000, that's not a lot of money. It's $120.
Oh yeah, no, we can. I have tax documents. I can send them, and I think we can. Most places I've dealt with will probably take a personal credit card for a town purchase.
Okay.
So you need to provide them with the tax exemption stuff.
Do we have the town's W-9? Do you have a copy of the W-9, which is the tax, and the W-5?
But that's not what's needed. Most people will take the ST2, which is just a tax exemption certificate.
Yep.
And then there's another form, the ST5, which from
The
time to time,
ST5, which means I'm not going to resell the whatever we buy from them. Yeah.
right.
But they also require the W-9 in order to establish the account. So, and I've tried to get hold of Kenny, and radio silence so far.
W9. I have all three. I have all of that.
Okay. Can you send?
No one has ever asked me for a W9 trying to. And I've gotten one request for a W9 in the 5 years I've been dealing with vendors.
Okay.
But that's fine. I have a copy of it because somebody did ask me for it.
Okay. So what I will do is, if you can send me the ST2, please, Bill, and I will get hold of Gold Standard, and I'll CC you on any email that I send to them so that you'll be aware of what's going on as well.
And we're going to need a W9 from Gold
From
Standard.
them, yeah. Okay, so I will take care of that. Now the, uh, in addition to that, since I'm going to be expending a large chunk of money, can I get a motion to go ahead and place that order? So that when the invoice comes in, you know, it's been authorized by the committee?
So we are actually authorizing you to purchase that stuff on behalf of the town and seek
Correct.
reimbursement for it.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, I move that we do that.
Second.
Okay. And all in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
and I can
Thank you
send you
all.
the reimbursement form as well.
Would you please, sir?
Yeah.
I would appreciate that. Okay. Next, and this is starting to get complicated, is TRC's Phase 2 draft report. Mike and I had a meeting with Anna Chase from TRC. Was it last week, Mike, or the week before? Whatever.
Last
It was.
week, I think.
It
Last
was
week.
very recently. And we have the extension on the contract. Thank you again, Bill, for your work on that. Through October 15th. What we run into now is they want us to share or the link with other town committees the other stakeholders in the town who might be interested in what they're producing and give them a window for reviewing and commenting. Then they would like to set up a meeting with the town and the stakeholders, to give TRC's draft presentation on it. And then they would have, a couple of weeks to submit the final report. One of the big questions that I have is what other committees do we want to include as far as stakeholders go? There's lots of different committees, I can think of Open Spaces, Conservation Commission, and you guys might have better ideas, but hi, Sally. Who do we think should be included for the review and comments at the side and part of it?
Conservation Department of Public Works, Board of Health.
Conservation Commission, Board of Health,
Recreation.
Rec.
Select board,
Yep, select board.
town manager, maybe.
Okay. DPW. Okay, so we have Conservation Commission, DPW, Board of Health, RecCom, the Select Board, the Town Manager. Anybody think of anything else off the top of their head? That is what I will probably do is draft an email to them this week, saying, asking them to look out for this and what's a good drop dead date on go ahead, Mike.
What? No, go ahead.
I was thinking of a good drop dead date on the review and comments time period, because Anna was looking at having the presentation to the stakeholders no later than like the middle of September.
So we could request comments like maybe up to 2 weeks after that presentation. Anytime up to then. Would that work
Okay, so-
okay? And then that would give TRC 2 weeks to respond to the comments, because their contract is now middle of October, right?
October 15th is the end date. Yes, sir. So
we could possibly push the presentation a little earlier in September. I was thinking just sometime after people are back, school starts, people are back, and I think, what does school start? Late August, is that right? Any, Lori?
I believe so.
So, so let me, look at a calendar. There's a calendar here. August. Well, we could, depends what day you want to do it. September 1st is a Tuesday. And, you know, maybe, well, let's see. There's a CPC. Oh, you know what? That's another board to add is the CPC.
That's when the kids are gonna go back to school, is that first week of September, because Labor Day is very late this year, it's the 7th.
Okay.
So they'll go back.
Yeah, I was thinking that we would try and pull that meeting with the stakeholders together after the week after Labor Day. Because things would be settled down, the kids would be in school. And then we can,
The week of the 14th.
Do you want to try like Tuesday, the 15th?
that works for me. That's a
Doesn't
good,
work for
that,
me.
that's kind of where I was kind of targeting anyways, in the middle of September. And then if
What
we
about
get,
the meeting or on Tuesdays?
Yeah, so the Tuesday and Wednesday of that week would be Planning Board and Conservation Commission.
Oh, okay. So
I-
Thursday?
Thursday is typically a day that I think will work.
and I think TRC was looking for it in, kind of a middle of the afternoon meeting but I think they would be open to us saying, here's our window for it. Would that be, do you think a middle afternoon? I know Board of Health, they like to usually do their meetings around 2 o'clock. And getting all these stakeholders to agree on a time might be a little bit challenging.
Very
Especially during
challenging.
the day, but some of them work.
Yeah, I would shoot for an evening and, like a 7 o'clock or something. Personally.
Okay.
It won't be the first time TRC has given a night meeting, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that. And I was thinking that,
So TRC intends to make a presentation to the stakeholders and then seek their feedback.
well, they've got the draft report ready. And I'm thinking if we get it out now, get the links out to the stakeholders and give them a 30-day window to make comments on the draft. And then we have the presentation with TRC and they might get, final comments and questions and things like that after the presentation. This still, if we get it to them by the end of September, it gives them the first, the last 2 weeks of the contract to get the final done and get it out to us. They kept pushing early, earlier is better, earlier is better, earlier is better. And some of that's understandable, but my estimation is that there shouldn't be a whole lot of changes between the draft document and the final document, depending upon, if we get any comments from the other stakeholders and whatever comes out of the presentation meeting.
I thought you said that the
Dave,
comments get them before that meeting. They get a draft, they make comments, and then they have a presentation.
Yes.
So if we had in the middle of September, they would have a whole month to get the report done. Sounds like they know they need more time because we're not the only thing that they're doing, I'm sure.
We've already given them 3 extensions. I'm not giving them another one.
Is that week of September when you were talking around the 15th, if that's a really busy week with other meetings, will that impact attendance or should we be waiting even another whole?
Well, I'm just, a couple things. One is, what I think, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what Anna asked was for us to consolidate comments,
Correct.
final comments. So I'd actually like to suggest this. Okay, first off, we can get a copy of this report, put it on the town website for people to download.
Mhm.
And we can do that pretty soon. We've got report, and put a copy on a flash drive and take it over to town hall tomorrow. I think what we need to go with that, though, is a brief, paragraph or two that explains what this thing is and that we're looking for comments and when we want comments by and when there will be a meeting. To keep it simple, I suggest that we give people like maybe up to maybe a week or so after the meeting, after the presentation, to get their comments to the committee. And then we need some time, assuming there will be some, to get those comments together in a coherent manner and give them to TRC. And then TRC probably will need a couple weeks to turn it around into final report. I'm looking at the schedule again, and is there a reason why we couldn't have this on the 10th? Thursday, the 10th?
I'm open to that.
And then we could ask for comments, back, say, in a week or maybe by the 18th. And quickly turn those comments around, get them to TRC. TRC makes their changes, and we're done before the 15th of October. Is that all? Is that making sense to people?
That sounds really workable to me.
Works
So
for
we
me.
change it to the 10th at 7 o'clock. Request comments by the 18th.
Mm-hmm.
And then, then we maybe we'll need a special meeting, to quickly go through those comments and get them ready for TRC.
We would be having a meeting on October 5th anyway.
Yeah, we would. But I guess it depends if there's a lot of comments. I mean, I've already seen a few like really minor, like almost typo stuff that, I'd like them to correct, but nothing that I think we need to correct now.
Yeah, there was one in the Mill Pond section. Instead of saying B-an, it was spelled bean. So, I flagged that one.
Well, we could maybe actually, we can edit PDFs. We could make some little minor edits even now.
Well, I downloaded in the Word document form because I'm a lot more comfortable working with Word than I am with PDFs.
Okay.
Hell, I'm still thinking back to when WordPerfect was the one of choice. Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we schedule a public presentation for the Pratt and Mill Pond report to be provided by TRC on September 10th. And furthermore, we request any final public comments on the 18th to the committee, to Lakes Pond and Stream Committee, and that as soon as possible, we provide a copy to I don't know, Denise, Bill, or someone at Town Hall who would post it.
I
on the town
usually
website.
send everything for posting on the website to Denise and Catherine, or
Okay.
Kathleen, excuse me.
Okay, to Kathleen
And-
Byrne.
And honestly, I mean, you could just say that we're going to have a public meeting and anybody who might be interested
Yep,
could
yep.
comment or attend or both. We may want to be sure that we reach out to the people we've already talked about rather, but might as well make it a public meeting for anybody who's interested.
I like that idea.
I think
Okay,
they
so-
could, if they could maybe, TRC might want to present it remotely, but we could have the little town hall that evening, and we could meet in person there and then view the presentation. Want to do that.
I like that.
But Dave, if you want to write up just a short paragraph, kind of saying, here's the report. We're looking for comments. A presentation is planned for September 10th, but feel free to comment on it. Until the 18th. Written email comments to lakes, ponds, and streams, and you.
Mhm.
And once that's ready, you can just take a copy of that and the report on a flash drive over to Kathleen. Post it.
Okay. Okay, all right. So Mike, you started making a motion on that. Do you have, I don't know if you want to
That was my
consolidate
entire
that?
motion. Yeah. I hate motions. Just make a motion that the Lakes, Ponds, and Streams Committee, number one, provides a copy of the draft TRC report to Kathleen Burnett Town Hall for posting on the town website, along with an explanatory paragraph. Two, that we schedule a TRC presentation on the report for Thursday, September 10th. And finally, that the committee requests that any comments be provided in writing via email by the 18th of September.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second,
And all in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
Motion carries. Thank you all. Kind of tied in with this, but not actually, is I have on the a note on the agenda about the iron and the phosphorus samples for the remainder of calendar year 26. There was a lot of discussion about the phosphorus feed, the phosphorus loop in Pratt, helping to feed the cyanobacteria blooms. And I've got some samples that are ready to go. We're still within the 28-day holding window to get those down to, or get those up to the lab in
Phoenix.
UNH.
Oh.
Or Phoenix, and I'm kind of wondering what do we want to take more samples to get a more steady timeline, or is there, or just the monthly samples that we've got scheduled? Because this is going to tie into the next thing on the agenda too. Go ahead, Mike.
No, well, I mean, what I suggest, we've gone back on this a little bit already, but if we do the phosphorus samples, I think it would be interesting if we can get permission is to take a sample upstream of that Hopkinton Road wetland, downstream of the wetland, and then kind of where the stream flows through the cove area. I'm not exactly, I think there's some places, Blair, where it's a little deeper and there's a channel defined.
Mm-hmm.
Those three areas, I think it'd be, because the reason for everyone is I'm really curious how much phosphorus, if any, is being being mobilized from that, from those basically two wetland systems. There's that one wetland that's upstream of Hopkinton Road. It used to be a forested wetland. Beavers moved in like around 2005, maybe somewhere around there. And they flooded the area, killed all the trees. Now it's a very nice emergent wetland. But I wonder, to what extent it may be a phosphorus source.
And
And
I
then-
think those beavers have actually moved to the north side of Hopkinton Road because that whole wetland has very little water in it now.
I think the big wetland is on the north side of Hopkinton that I'm thinking of.
But
Right.
that's still really
It's
very
low
little
right
water
now.
in that now.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's got very
But
little
it's-
water.
That's good. I'd still recommend taking samples because I wonder if, what if anything's being mobilized from that wetland
Okay, that's
and getting, because where we're kind of headed here is trying to do some kind of a phosphorus model for the pond. And that would be like the next step that a contractor would do, but it doesn't hurt for us to get a little data in advance of that. Maybe it's not a source of phosphorus. We take some samples and realize it isn't, but I think it's low cost, take a sample upstream and downstream of that wetland. And then just as the stream kind of enters the main part of Pratt Pond, get a little bit more data.
yeah.
I like that idea.
I like that idea also. And because I know where you're like, you can kind of see the stream bed heading towards P3, the site
Yeah.
that we're calling P3.
It's a little bit
As
to
a
the
matter of fact,
left of
that's
it.
kind of where I've been taking the samples from because it's about the only spot that's over 2 feet deep. And I know there was a beaver dam way in the back of that cove a couple of years ago, but I still think the beavers have moved north of Hopkinton Road because that wetland that you're describing it's practically dry now. It's almost meadow-like. It's probably still really soft and mushy, but there's not very much water in there. And I think that you had suggested, was it 72 Hopkinton Road that you had suggested touching base with them? I'll see if I can finagle an invitation to go back there and get some samples.
They're the stream. They have a long driveway in from Hopkinton Road,
Yes.
and their driveway crosses the stream. So
I have contact information for them.
Oh, do you?
Yep.
'Cause-
I had conversations with the owner a couple of times.
Oh, wonderful. Because when we bought this house where I'm at right now, the realtor was that I worked with, she was also looking at representing the previous owners of that house. And she said that, she went down there one time, big long driveway, and as soon as she got out of a car, a goat climbed into her car. So I don't know what relevance that has, but that's what happened. And in relation to getting those samples is the benthic mapping. We have the authorization to go ahead on that. And what would be the next steps on that? And I think, again, this is more in your wheelhouse, Mike.
Well, I guess we could, if we want to go ahead with it, as soon as possible, contact Wendy Gendron. And I did contact her last year just to kind of get a ballpark cost estimate.
Yep.
And see if she still thinks it's a good idea, if she has time to do it. Probably like when last year, when did the mat start to break up?
It broke up
early
the end
August?
of August, the end of August 22nd. Can you send me her contact information?
Yes.
And
Yep,
I
I'll
will
do
reach
that.
out to her.
Yep.
because I know that you have, that you worked with her previously.
Yep.
So I will reach out to her for the committee.
Will
And
do.
which leads me to the very last part of what's on the agenda. And if we move forward with the benthic mapping, would the timing of that be more dependent upon what we get from our monthly water quality samples? I did notice that when I took the samples in June, that there was a green tinge to the 12-foot level sample, which kind of tells me that we've got some algae action going on down there.
And that's the oscillatoria, that's the worrying kind, right?
It, well, Oscillatoria is one of the critters that grows down there. But yeah, there was a green tinge to the water. So
Dave, are you saving those samples to be sent
I have them, and they're going
to
out.
AA?
They're going out this week.
To AA, not Northeast?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because I think it's a good idea to keep with AA for those
I
samples.
like Aquatic Analysts. They've done a very good job for us over the years.
Okay.
Yep, they're going out this week. But back to my question, would let's say, July, there was very little algae back there in May, and suddenly here's the June sample and the algae numbers start climbing, and then we get to July, and the numbers are even higher. I'm just spitballing here. So would the timing of having them come in and do the mapping survey be more dependent upon the results that we're getting from our monthly water quality samples?
Well, I have to go back and look at the data a little bit from previous years, but I suspect by late July, August, we've already got a pretty substantial mat.
Yeah.
There. So, and we don't want, I'd say try to get them out there, early at the latest, maybe early August, based on, take one look at the old data, but because we don't want to have them scheduled and then have the mat break up.
Yeah, that's.
We definitely want to get them out there before the mat breaks up. If it breaks up again, like it did last year.
Yeah, like I said, I saw a green tinge in the 12-foot sample from June. So that's why I'm thinking that the mat may be starting to build up again. And that's okay. Yeah, if you can send me Wendy's contact information.
Will do.
So that wetland on the north side of Hopkinton Road, the big part of it, that's
Yes, sir.
National Grid land.
That is?
Mhm.
Yeah, where the gas line is, or is that yeah, where the gas line is?
Well, that may be part on National Grid land, but that big body of water to the north of Hopkinton Road is National Grid land,
Okay.
not the other family. So it depends on where you want to take the sample.
It'll be from the
family. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm sorry about it. I think at least to start one sample from their driveway, the 72 Hopkinton Road driveway, where the stream crosses it,
Okay.
and then one right at Hopkinton Road where the stream crosses Hopkinton Road.
Okay.
Those two, we wouldn't have to get it. No one. I don't think no one would have to wade into that wetland at this point anyway. Unless someone wants to volunteer, somebody who's not me.
Yeah, and if we went a little farther north, we could probably access that water from the state forest if we had to.
That sounds like some serious bushwhacking. Tick City, yay. Okay, that's all I have on the agenda. Does anybody have any items that they want to bring up?
Well, I have a question about the financial. So what I'm noticing from that chart is the numbers were higher in the beginning, the second week of June, and they were quite a bit lower by the end of June. So I can't remember when that super hot week was ahead of time.
That was last week.
Not
So
this week. We had another week that we were in the 90s a month or so ago, remember?
that probably would have been the second week of June. Yeah, when the numbers were highest. That's why I think today's sample that I took right on the tail end of last week's heat wave, that's going to be interesting when we see those results.
Right, I think so too. And it looks like for all these other weeks, there was 2 kinds of bacteria, but there's one that showed up 3 times. That was the only one that showed up. I guess there's 2 that showed up.
Yeah, the Anabaena.
Yeah, and then the FANCC.
So, and those are more shallow water species. So I think you're going to see varieties of those. The research that I've been doing, looking around, is the oscillatoria that keeps showing up at the 12-foot level. That's more what has been described as a benthic, a deeper water type of species. So it's all interesting stuff. It's still all bad players, but still interesting stuff.
Right, and if we have this big heat, and if we do get this big rain tomorrow, like they're saying, a lot of times that kind of weather precedes what looks like an algae bloom. That doesn't turn out to be one, but it looks like it, you know. Or the algae numbers are higher, but not as high as they make us worry.
So, and that's one thing that Laura Hebb was concerned with, was the heat driving an algae bloom. And we just don't know. We can't make those kind of predictions. So we just have to wait and see what happens.
All right. So you'll let us know when. So if those are testing that happened today?
I take water samples every Monday. They have DPW has been going over and getting the E. coli samples on Mondays. So I've been taking the cyanobacteria samples on Mondays, trying to keep some consistency with what the Board of Health is doing.
With what you're sending off today or sending tomorrow, did it sound like it comes back Thursday or Friday?
I will probably have the results next week, next Thursday or Friday. So what I should get this Thursday will be the sample that I took on the 29th.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah,
I see how you're labeling.
everybody that has seen that chart really likes the format that it's in. The stoplight, it works really well. And again, thank you, Bill, for that alteration. Everybody really likes it.
Yeah, really good.
All right. Anything else?
It looks like the ones that went out on the 15th got analyzed on the 29th, and also the
Correct.
ones went out on the 22nd got analyzed on the 29th.
Correct. Both results came back on the same day.
Okay, great.
Okay, we have reached our allotted time. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And second?
Who made that motion?
Bill.
Bill seconded or made the motion?
Bill made the
I
motion.
made the motion.
Okay.
And Lori just seconded.
Mhm.
Okay. And Sally, if you got any questions about what you missed, just shoot me an email and I'll fill you in. But it's nothing bad so far. We're doing well.
Yeah, maybe I can set up a time with you afterwards. I'll send you an email just to catch up because I
Okay, that works for me.
take other people's time. It'd be great.
All right, so we have a motion and seconded. All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
All right. Thank you, folks.
Thank
Right.
you. Thank you.